What's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning. All right, so it's Monday. I'm moving a little slow today, as always, on Monday. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Main watch is probably ACB, LCI. I like these two. They're tradable for me. AMRN's really getting hit in pre-market as well. AMRN. That one is gapping down from 21.05 to 18.05. Also looking at, hold on, there might be an echo. Unless I pause. Oh, I did mute it. Okay, cool. All right, but yeah, watching ACB, LCI, AMRN, NIO, HTZ, maybe APTI. It just depends. It looks like a split, or it looks like a acquisition or a buyout, actually. And so we'll see what happens with those. See what else pops up on the scanners here. What's up, two-way? What's up, brother? Good morning, man. We should have Mitch here sometime soon as well. What's up, Joseph? Good morning, man. Let me catch back up on the chat. Good morning, Foy, Mike, Average, JJ, David, Dex, David, Jeremy. What's up, man? Nasdaq. Who get this? Yeah, man. I had to look it up to see if today was an actual holiday. I had no idea, man. I know yesterday was a U.S. holiday. It was Veterans Day yesterday, but I didn't think today was a holiday. I've done that before where I've started up the stream on a holiday and people will come in the chat and being like, bro, what are you doing, man? It's a holiday. And so I kind of had that thought for a second, but then I realized it wasn't a holiday today, so at least not a U.S. holiday. Hey, appreciate it, Joseph. Yeah, man. I mean, Joseph, we just try to, we're just trying to show people what it's like, what it's really like. We're not cherry picking trades. We're just showing everybody everything, And if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. No stress. You know what I mean? Our big thing is just sticking to risk and reward levels. You stick to those levels like glue. You don't have to be as accurate. You give yourself 2 to 1 in every trade. You don't have to be as accurate. And if you're accurate, it's going to be a much bigger profit taking. But if not, no stress either. You just got to stick to your levels. That's what we talk about all the time. Yeah, we can talk about it in a second, Average. Give me 1 minute, man. I'm going to wait for a few more people to get in here. But yeah, market looks okay today. My favorite one actually is ACB. It's tradable for me. It's right around 750 now. We'll see if we can fill some of this gap on the way down. LCI, gapping up some here. Same thing. Gapping up from 536 to 587. We'll hold this one down too. Yeah, I know Dex. That's actually, I'm not going to talk about him specifically. I'm just going to talk about the state of overseas brokers in general, And so just hear me out. If you have a bias towards it, that's fine. I'm not trying to promote or talk bad about any of them. Just hear me out. I'm not going to pick sides, like I said. Just looking at what pops up on my scanners here. NBR, no volume. Market looks so-so today. I mean, I'm not in love with it. I don't think it looks terrible either. We got a few good gappers, but it's not like it's super voluminous right now in pre-market. So just trying to find something else to trade so I can have a few options. Like I said, AMRN is really getting hit here. Got KODK popping up here as well. I wonder if this one's tradable. No, it's not. MU popping up on scanners, gapping down some. I mean, it may have some support here at 38.40, 38.50. We'll see what happens right here. I guess I can watch this one too. But yeah, LITE getting hit as well. What is this, an ETF? Man, big gap down. We're going to have to look that one up, see why that one's gapping down like that. Watching NIO as well, CRON. Got a few little options there to watch. But yeah, that's about it that I really see right now. If you see anything else, let me know. Is today Veterans Day? I thought yesterday was Veterans Day. Thinkorswim just gave me a reminder. Yeah, it was yesterday. I don't know why it's, why would a bank be closed today? Anyways, maybe because that's at midnight. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, CGC doesn't look necessarily bad. We talked about this yesterday in class. Like, the cannabis stocks have been on a pretty big uptrend since the midterm elections, and the Democrats won the House back, and so cannabis stocks have been a little bit, definitely been bullish in the last week. It's observed today. Okay, appreciate that, Joseph. Yeah, I didn't know that, man. Apple pulled Light as a supplier. Really? Market looks so-so today. We'll see. I gotta be careful. I haven't had a losing day since Thursday of not last week, the week before. So I've had 4 days in a row where I've been green, where I've ended green. So last week was a perfect week trading rise, except I had 75% accuracy, but I ended every day green. One of the reasons I was able to achieve that is because I was super selective. A few of those days, 2 of the days last week, I didn't trade at all. Just because I didn't really see anything I liked. And I think that's how you need to be sometimes in this market. If you force too many trades and you revenge trade in this market, which is a big problem with new traders, your account's going to be affected from it. And so I've just been trying to be super selective in the past week. Make sure I see something I really like before I jump into it. And, my accuracy has reflected that. So going to be careful today. Going to watch. Be safe, ACB does. It has that many shares, really? What's up, James? What's up, man? Should I go long on NK? I don't know, brother. I mean, it's your decision, man. I don't want to tell you yes or no. I understand the trade idea. I understand it was down so much Friday that it maybe rebound some today. I get that. But I don't want to say yes or no for liability reasons, man. I'm not trying to be one of those YouTubers that gives people hot picks. I'm just not that kind of guy, man. I think that's kind of the scummy world of trading, if you will. But I just let people watch me trade specifically, give them my opinion on stuff. But yeah, you can trade basically most ETFs there, Joseph, from what I've experienced. Yeah, no stress 40. But listen, man, I understand that trade idea for sure. I mean, it's down a lot from Friday. You know, logical sense would say maybe it's going to bounce today. I definitely understand that logic. So ACB does have, let's see, let's look at ACB's float size. That's what I'm really curious to see. Okay, so this is a cannabis stock as well. Let's look up the... I hate it when a site doesn't show me the float and the market cap. Market cap 6.86 billion. What's the float? I mean, regardless, it's probably going to yeah, float is 919.65 million, so almost a billion float size. Pretty big float. Not crazy huge, but big. Let's see. NIHD. I'll probably watch NIHD as well. Gonna go get you a new computer. 7. Yeah, Everett, I'll talk about it in a second, man. Listen, I understand everybody kind of freaking out about it and all the drama. Like, I get it. You know, I'll understand it. Give me 5 more minutes. I'll talk about it. Just gonna wait for a few more people to get here. I mean, you all know me. Like, there's some YouTubers that would just kind of mindlessly push something, never mention its flaws. I'm not one of them. Like, I always try to be honest with people about everything, you know? And so, but watching NIHD, LCI, ACB, and like Allah said, if you're one of those guys that are like, oh, TradeNet's a scam, just hear me out. I'm not gonna pick sides, but just hear me out. You know, I'm just gonna touch on a few things about this whole thing. Oh, here. Let me get you, Mitch. Hold on, brother. Let me get Mitch in here. Let me, sorry guys, I'm getting Mitch in here. We'll go over the news in a second. Hey Mitch, if you're listening right now, man, I'm sending you the link on Skype. There you go. I just sent it to you, bro. Let me know when you're in here. DCIX. I believe it's a shipping stock. Maybe wrong. Maybe it's either a shipping stock or it might be a building stock. Let me see. Yeah, DCIX is moving some. It doesn't look too bad there. DNR popping up on my scanners as well. Let's see. I sent it, Mitch, if you, let me see. right, guys. So gotta get my stretches out, man. I don't drink coffee on the weekends, and so drinking some coffee now to wake me up before the stream. Or during the stream, I should say. Alright, so how's everybody's weekend? Everybody's weekend was okay? So let me get Mitch in here, and then we'll talk about it. There we go. Alright, we got Mitch in here. Let me make him... Hold on. What's up, Mitch? Alright, brother. You can talk now.
What's going on? How we doing?
Let me make
Money
sure.
Mondays.
Yep, there we go. Alright, you're up. How's everybody doing
Go,
today?
let's get it started.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Alright, so a lot of people in the chat talking about TradeNet. And this is what I really want to say about TradeNet and really all the other offshore brokers. Is there a conflict of interest? Probably. There probably is. But
Always. It
right.
doesn't matter. It's always going to be there.
But this is what overseas brokers do. I mean, if you're, listen, if you're trying to play the high ground with one, SureTrader, why do you think SureTrader has so many shorts? Can anybody answer why they think SureTrader has so many shorts? I'll give you a hint. It's because they take the other side of your trade. And when you make money, they lose money. When you lose money, SureTrader makes money. You know, why do you think U-Stock Trade limits some stocks that are able to trade? Why do you think U-Stock Trade does that? They have super users that literally take the other side of your trade. Why do you think they do that? And when you make money on U-Stock Trade, they probably lose money, and vice versa. And so the point is that you can't take the high ground with one. If you're going to be using and promoting one of them in their parent company and then attacking another, it just seems hypocritical because they all do the same thing. I mean, that's overseas brokers. And if you have less than 25,000 in your account, I mean, that's what you're ultimately going to have to deal with, you know? And so think about it. It only makes sense. Like SureTrader does it, TradeNet does it, U-Stock Trade does it. Any broker that basically is going to allow you to trade with less than 25,000 in their account, they have to do that because federal law makes it so that they can't actually offer you equities. And so they have to do that. And so it's not, listen, I'm not saying any of them are good or bad, but they all do the same thing. And so you can't cherry pick which one to attack to start drama because SureTrader does it. And the only difference is like SureTrader charges you hundreds for a platform, way more in commissions. You know, biggest flaw of TradeNet in my mind isn't that they do that. The biggest flaw of TradeNet is that a lot of stocks aren't tradable. You know, because I'm honest about it. That's my biggest problem with them. If they pay out, they pay out. I don't really care. But I'm not going to cherry pick and pretend like every broker that is overseas that offers that doesn't do that because they all do. No matter what anybody wants to say. That's what they all do. And so using SureTrader and promoting their parent company and then attacking TradeNet is hypocritical. It's super hypocritical because SureTrader does the exact same thing. You know, and then bringing up negative reviews and all this stuff of TradeNet, go look up the negative reviews for SureTrader. You're going to see the exact same comments. Like, wow, SureTrader's not even letting me in the trade. SureTrader's taking the other side of my trade. That's a conflict of interest. You're going to see the exact same thing. And so that's all I'm asking. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not picking sides. I don't really have a problem with any of these brokers because I think they're a necessary evil in the trading world. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stand on my hill and point the finger at one while using a broker that does the exact same thing. You know, another problem people said they had was that Mir owns Colmex. Okay, well, so let's look at SureTrader to see if they're doing the exact same thing. So Guy Gentile founded SureTrader. Do you know who founded DOS platform, the platform they're using? Can anybody guess? Guy Gentile's wife. Like, come on, guys. Like, don't be wrapped up in drama on YouTube. Like, it's silly. Like, they all do the same thing, man. You know, you want to sit there and point the finger and get on a witch hunt? Go ahead, man. You know, but don't be gullible, guys. Be honest. Like, look at it for the truth in all of it. You know, it's silly if you don't. You know, it's hypocritical. Right. But we'll move on now.
My opinion on this, guys, is just It goes back to, I've done my research, guys. What really matters in trading is that you know where the information's coming from and what's true. If you really look into trading, you're going to go ahead and you're going to find out some real dark truths. The dark truths of trading is that at the end of the day, brokers are out to get retail traders.
100%.
They're
100%.
100% out there to get us. They're not trying to have us make money, because if we make money, then they lose money. No
100%.
one wants to lose money. Everyone's trying to gain. This is the psychology here, guys. I'm going to actually put up a link to a video. I don't usually do this, but this is a video that really breaks down why there's a conflict of interest with traders and what really happens with trading educators. At the end of the day, guys, no matter who you're going to, as an educator, we're all going to end up working with a broker. And by working with a broker, there's always a conflict of interest.
100%.
At the end of the day, if it doesn't matter if it's us, whoever it is. I don't like to put names out there, but you can name any trader that's out there right now doing this or being an educator, and they are 100% going to have what we call a conflict of interest.
Oh, 100%.
That's just the dark truth of trading.
Right.
And as you break down further and further, what you see is that what supports the brokers, institutional traders, what supports the brokers, trading educators.
Right.
At the end of the day, they all have conflict of interest because they do not want what? Retail traders winning the game.
Right. Listen, if 90% of traders fail, that's a pretty safe bet. I'm not even mad at them for that bet. The only thing I care about is if they pay out, and I've heard they have. And I've heard SureTrader has too. And so, like I said, trying to stand on a hill and point the finger at one while ignoring everything that is doing the exact same thing with the broker that I'm using is just silly. Like, let's just be honest about all of them here and say that they all do it because they do. They all take the opposing side of your trade. Why do they do that? Because 90% of traders fail. And it makes sense, and that's fine. I don't care if they do or not, because if they pay out, they pay out. But like I said, SureTrader does it. Everybody's always like, SureTrader has lots of shorts. That's a big pro of SureTrader. They have lots of shorts. You think they're just a nicer broker? You think SureTraders are like, I'm just going to be nice and let more people short stocks? No. SureTrader does that because they take the other side of your trade. The reason they have so many shorts is because you're not even actually getting in trade sometimes, at least from what I know, because they're taking the other side. And so it's the exact same thing, but we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to attack one and start a witch hunt. It's silly, man. Just be honest with people. That's all I'm asking. Just be honest with people. Like, you don't have to sit there and start drama. Just be honest with people, man. I'm not going to name names. I'm not trying to start drama. I'm a peaceful person. I just like sitting here, trading every day, letting people watch me trade. That's all I do. But just be honest with people about it.
If you guys really take the time to watch the link that I posted up, this is a guy that traded with Goldman Sachs. You can find the proof in that. I've looked it up. I'm not really suggesting this guy as to teach you guys trading, but if there's one thing this guy can definitely do is tell you the truths of what trading really is.
Right.
A lot of trading, it all comes down to risk and reward management, and it's not about that you're gonna get this kind of leap over everyone else. You got to remember there's conflict of interest here, so they're weighing down on us. 90% of us are losing. A lot of traders can't admit to themselves the dark truths of trading. They kind of hide themselves. They want to be in a blanket thinking that most retail traders can win, and that's not the truth. The easier you accept this and the closer you accept this, and knowing that brokers are out to get you and they're not here to help you, then you're going to be able to start forgetting about if they're trying to help me or improve the commission rate or whatever they're doing.
Right.
I'm just going to focus to the strengths of the broker and what I can use to make money. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be a strength and a weakness. If I focus on the weakness, guess what I get, guys? I get my weakness.
Right.
If I focus on the strength, use the strength of the broker, I can always work around the weakness.
100%. And it's, brokers are predatory. All of them are. Not even just overseas brokers. All brokers are predatory. And that's just the game, man. If you can't handle that, like, save up over 25,000, get a US broker, but,
Even
newsflash, they're
then,
going to be
like,
predatory.
yeah, even
you know?
then, like I can show you guys traders or educators that are using Thinkorswim as their main platform, advertising American brokers, and they're doing the same thing, guys. Everywhere you go in the trading world, you're going to find affiliates and conflict of interest.
Right,
It's
100%.
just what comes with trading.
100%. And I mean, that's just the game, you know. It's listen. I'm not saying he was trying to start John and Jeremy. Listen, I don't have anything against him, to be honest. Like, no
Um,
stress.
I mean, I'm not going to say he was trying to start drama, but he definitely was trying to down a broker while using a broker that does the same thing. So you look very hypocritical. If you're going to go ahead and use a broker that does the very same thing that you're saying that you don't want to be a part of, then why are you a part of it?
Right.
It's as simple as that. We don't have nothing to hide, guys. We always tell you guys that, by getting TradeNet packages, we're going to get a little of a cut. And at the end of the day, that's just the truth.
Right.
We bring free advertising for TradeNet, and that's what happens. We get paid out from it.
Right.
It's not a conflict of interest in our case because we're not telling you to go ahead and join. We're just letting you guys know the specials. We trade every single day in front of you guys, show you guys exactly what we do every single day. And then you guys decide if you want to trade alongside with us.
Right. I mean, here's what I always say is like I said, I'm not trying to be dishonest with people. Like, I always tell people, like, in my opinion, what he brought up isn't even the biggest flaw of TradeNet. The biggest flaw of TEFs, the partnering broker, is that a lot of stocks aren't tradable. And if you watch me, that I always say that. That's my biggest problem with it, is that a lot of stocks aren't tradable. Not that, because every broker does what he's talking about. Every overseas broker at least. But listen, it all just depends on yourself as a trader. Like, if you can get around that, if you don't have a problem with some stocks being not tradable, more power to you. But I'm just trying to be honest with people about it. But like I said, I'm not going to stand on the hill, point the finger at one while using a broker that's doing the exact same thing. That's silly. And I don't know if he knows that his broker's doing that, but look it up, man. They all do it. So.
And one thing that you guys will see if you guys do look up this video, I'm gonna post it one more time. A lot of traders, after watching this video, the reason I don't recommend it a lot of times is because it makes you feel down. When you know the dark truths of trading, you're gonna realize that you have kind of your work cut out for you. The world is against you in trading. It's
100%.
not for you in trading. And if you can admit it, then you can start making money. If you can't admit to yourself that 90% of traders lose, that just about every broker out there is trying to get you, you're not going to be able to capitalize on your mental capital. So
Right.
Get over it. Learn that that's what it is. They're out to get us. They're out to, attack us and try to take our money. So we need to go ahead and control our risk and take advantage of the trading. You're not there to just hang around and get stepped on. Step into the market, make your money, and get out of the market, guys.
Right, for sure. 100%.
All right. Well, with that, I'll go ahead and I'll leave it on. Look, Ivan, if you want to go ahead and just post up that TradeNet is a whatever scam, bro, if you don't know what you're talking about and you're just going to go off of people's information that they give you, then by all means keep going like that. You'll see where life gets you. You have to make decisions for yourself, and if you really do your research, you'll learn that every single broker is out there, and it's not that they're a scam, is that they're a good business model.
Right.
Good business models make lots of money.
Right. If 90% of traders fail, that's a pretty safe bet. And sure, traders banking on 90% of traders failing.
People want to tell me that all types of stocks are scams, but yet they're trading public stocks. We can look at Herbalife, for instance. Perfect. Everyone calls it a pyramid scheme, but at the end of the day, they're a public traded stock.
Right.
That's what you call a good business plan. That's it.
For sure. I mean, yeah, we can move on. I just wanted to touch on that. Like, listen, like you guys could probably tell, I'm not picking sides here. You know, like my point is that they all do it. They all do the same thing. They're all a conflict of interest, and that's okay for me. All I care is if they pay out. You know, but Sure Trader does it. U Stock Trade does it. Yes, Tefs and TradeNet does it, and that's just what you're gonna have to deal with in the overseas market. It's a necessary evil, like Jeremy said. It's a necessary evil. You know, they all do it. They all do it. And if you think they don't, you're naive, you know? And so, like I said, all I care about is if they pay out. That's all I really care about.
All right, so let's move on here, guys. Top stock of the watch today for me is going to be Yoko. I'm going to be watching Yoko. I'm going to also be watching HTZ. HTZ is one of my top stocks to watch. What else you got, John?
We got ACB. We have LCI. Looking good. ACB's a higher float stock, big market cap, big float, but still going to watch it. It's a cannabis stock. Gapping up some. I'm doing more than...
Look at Kodak back.
Oh, I know. I was looking at Kodak.
This stock was a funny one.
Yeah, FNSR. It looks like... where did FNSR go? Actually, I was looking at APTI. APTI looks like it is a... it looks like it's a... buyout of some sort. I'll have to look. Maybe it could be a 2-to-1 split. I'll have to look that up in a second. But what's up, Ben? So today's news is brought to you by SnapTrade. We actually have Ben here from SnapTrade in the chat. Ask him any questions. So you can see SnapTrade, an awesome free tool for traders to take advantage of. I build my watch list here each morning. You can see I have my watch list here built, and I share it with a decent amount of traders. It shows you a lot of good info like market cap. Honestly, wait, where was it? What was it? ACB. So yeah, you see ACB actually has a pretty high market cap. I forgot to add that one to my list on SnapTrade, but it has a pretty big market cap, big float as well, almost $1 billion in the float. And so yeah, the market cap, actually it's only showing the market cap for ACB here is 228 million. I'll have to look that up, but big gain in price. Volume change went down a little bit, so I'm definitely watching ACB. But on SnapTrade, they also have a bunch of free scanners, so regardless of what sector you're in, whether it be crypto, gap ups, high gainer penny stocks, high gainer volatile stocks, upcoming earnings, recent earnings. There's typically a scan for it, and you know, regardless of what you're trading, you can usually find a decent scan for it. But they also have news, and so for instance, I can just click on today's news here, and it shows me the most relevant stories in the market. Or I can click watch list here, and it shows me the stocks that are moving and the catalyst for my specific watch list. You can even look to the side and see there's gap up scans, recent earnings, and so an awesome free tool for traders to take advantage of. And I'll go ahead and post SnapTrade's link. We also have Ben here from SnapTrade, so if anybody has anything they want to see, any suggestions, compliments, anything like that, you can let Ben know. He's here in the chat. He is one of the owners of SnapTrade. But there's the link there. Go check them out if you're interested in seeing SnapTrade. Hey, oh, also, we got a donation in there, man. I think it was from Average Trader. So I appreciate the donation, brother. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support, brother.
Yeah, I think it was just supporting in all we were talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Now it's almost 9:25 here, guys. 9:24. Let's start visualizing important key levels. Start really getting ready to make this trade, guys.
For sure.
As traders, one thing you definitely don't want to do is have your mind somewhere else when you're trading. So let's go ahead and zone in here and start getting ready to tackle the day, guys.
Right, gotta look up some news real quick. ACB, after legalization in Canada, sales went up 260%. And so that's why ACB is up. Also going to look at LCI here, LCI. It's up after a thyroid deal with Amneal. They entered a deal with Amneal Pharmaceuticals to supply Amneal to its thyroid treatment drug. One of the most active stocks traded in pre-market, so LCI moving as well. Also, looking at AMRN here, AMRN's actually moving a decent amount. You can see AMRN dropping some here. Curious to see what's going on with it. If you follow us, I really don't like AMRN as a day trader. I'm just not good at trading AMRN. It never really follows through. Investors' concerns after the heart drug trial results. So apparently they had negative trial results for AMRN. Investors getting worried. Stock dropping some. And then the last one I'm going to look up is APTI, and then I'm going to run to the restroom and let Mitch hold it down. But somebody mentioned this is a buyout. I thought that's what it looked like. It was either a buyout or a 2-to-1 split, but sounds like it was a buyout. $1.9 billion buyout deal for APTI. So interesting. We'll see what happens in the market today. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to go ahead and use the restroom really quick before the stream starts. So I'll be back. Hold it down, Mitch. Hey, Keith, it's that coffee, brother. He said, if I could just get my trading as consistent as John restroom break every morning, I would be wealthy. Yeah, Callum, listen, we already talked about it a little bit already. I'll go over it one more time. Callum, every overseas broker does what TradeNet does. SureTrader does it. SureTrader has so many shorts available. Why do you think that is? Do you think SureTrader is just a nicer broker that offers more shorts? No. SureTrader takes the opposing side of your trade. That's why they have more shorts. That sounds like a conflict of interest to me as well. What about UStockTrade? UStockTrade has super users that take the opposing side of your trade. And so with both of those two, if you make money, they lose money. And so all overseas brokers do it. It's a necessary evil. You can't stand on the hill and point the fingers at one and then not the other, because that's just hypocritical. The point is that it's a necessary evil. If you have less than 25K in your account, you're going to have to deal with one of these overseas brokers, and that's just the truth. You know, if they pay out, they pay out. That's all I really care about. But like I said, you can't stand on a hill, point the finger at one, and then ignore the other two, especially ones that you've used and promoted. And so that's just hypocritical. So that's all I'm going to say. Again, we already went over it. If you want to rewind the stream at about 8:05, at about 9:05, we went over it a little bit more in depth. But that's all I'm going to say about it because the market's opening up in 2 minutes. I'm just going to get ready.
All right, guys, with that being said, while the market goes on, we're going to be talking stocks. You know, we won't acknowledge anything that's outside of stocks. Just want to go ahead and put that out there so everyone can know if we don't answer your question, it's probably because it's not about stocks and not about the intraday. And we want to keep our trading focused. We want to keep our chat room focused on so that we could actually get that profitability that we're all searching for. You know, we all want to go ahead and have that consistency. We got to stay consistent with our mindset and our attitude. And that's why we're going to go ahead and just talk about trading. Let's go ahead and get it, guys. 1 minute here. Definitely look for your important levels to move. It's Monday. There's a couple of big stocks here, a couple of chances to take some good gains from the market.
Yep. You can see Light's actually rebounding some after they lost out on that Apple deal, and Apple removed their phones from their store. So But yeah, man, coffee, brother. For the guy who asked why my restroom breaks were so consistent. Coffee, brother. I drink my coffee at the same time every morning. Go to the restroom at the same time every morning. All right, so main watch, maybe ACB. I liked LCI much more before it made this big drop. Yeah, I actually agree with that two-way trader. I think that'd probably be beneficial. But market's about to open right now. There's the bell. All right, good luck, everybody. Only problem with LCI, VWAP's a little bit too high for it. I don't know if it's going to cross back over that one. So I've had 4 green days in a row. Last week I didn't have one losing day. And so we'll see if we can keep that going. I'm not going to force anything. Don't really see too much I like today. And so not going to force anything. Just going to keep an eye on my setups. All right, we got ACB pushing up. It's at 755 right now, trying to crack over the VWAP. NIHD dropping a little bit. We got CGC pushing.
All right, HTC shooting off there, guys.
Yep. Looking at HTC, it's up to, let me look at the daily. We looked at this one yesterday in class. Maybe a little extended, not too much, but it does have some resistance above it, so keep an eye on that. CGC pushing up some, same thing with ACB. LCI is just moving much slower than I would have preferred it to. Looking at NIO here. I'm going to wait for a little bit bigger drop, see if I can maybe get into a few good things. Volume's a little slow today.
Yeah, just don't like the daily chart.
Cron crossing under the VWAP here after a big pullback with all the cannabis stocks, with the CGC big pullback, ACB big pullback. And so maybe looking at Cron, if it gets up to 875, I like the tight risk of like 78, maybe 80 for risk. If it gets up to 75 for a 5-cent risk, it's a little small of a risk. I don't usually like keeping my stops that tight, but I mean, if the range is small, I guess it justifies it for CRON. So looking at it to see if it pulls back some here. Somebody was talking about NK. See if it rebounded something. Yeah, there goes the rebound. Little dull today, guys. I mean, I'm not going to force anything here. I'm kind of looking at NIO. The only problem with it is that it was too close to the high of the day, and there's the squeeze. Exactly why I don't like setting my risk at the high of the day. Glad I didn't force that one. We got HTZ pulling back here. Gonna look for this one to break under that low, really wash out down to 19, and then pull back to the VWAP. We'll see if it does that. Oh, sorry guys. Let me pull up my actual scanners here. My actual my Trade Ideas scanners. And shout out to Trade Ideas. They are cool enough to let me stream their scans, and so I'll post that link here as well. NIHD dropping down some. If NIHD could pull back to $8, it looks interesting with the tight risk of like 809, 810. So I like NIHD here if it can pull back to that level. NIO may be looking like a VWAP bounce here actually. If it can bounce off this VWAP right here at 672 and then pull back, I like the tight risk of maybe 70s. But we'll see what happens with it. At this point, probably watching NIHD the most here, see if it can pull back to this VWAP level. If it can pull back to here, I like it a lot more. Big drop on ACB and the cannabis stocks, but if it can pull back to this $8 level, I could set a risk of 805, 806 for that high of the day risk.
Yeah, I was looking at ACB, but I didn't really like that first VWAP. I wanted it to break the support first when it broke 45 and come back up there, but it's already down through the support there.
Yep. LCI actually rebounding some here. And that's what I said. It was down too much already. NIHD just keeps dropping here. We'll see if the VWAP can drop a little bit. Give me a better entry. HTZ rebounding. Man, look at those down wicks on the cannabis stocks. AMD. Hey, appreciate all the new subs today. Appreciate the sub, Nelly, Rob, Chip, L. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Welcome. All right, so looking at AMD, Cool mentioned AMD. If it pulls back to 2060, looks interesting. Could set a risk of 72, 73, 13-cent risk from 2060 down to 2036 would be about a 10-cent risk, 20-cent reward on AMD, so good risk reward. We'll see what happens with it, though. You can see I'm looking at this here. See if it gives me that pullback. It's a big if, but watching it closely here for AMD. I usually don't trade this one, but I saw it fade a few times last week, and so we'll see if it keeps it up here. Redoubting here, getting really close. Oh, I got disconnected. There we go. And there goes AMD. Down to 2050. Would have faded a little bit here, gave me a few cents. At this point, I'm looking at... Whoa, look at the spread on NIHD. Man, I didn't notice the spread was kind of bad on it. Don't like it as much. 4-cent spread's not that bad. We'll see. It's got to stay up there, though. Not a bad setup on AMD, honestly. Missed it, though, but it's up to 57. It went up to 57, dropped down to 50. I don't mind taking it around 59 if it gets back up there. Spread's getting a little bit better with NIHD, although the volume is not as good as something like AMD. MNGA. Yeah, MNGA spiking up some. Looks like AMD's going to follow through with the fade. Just missed it. Would have been nice. I appreciate the sub, Lat. Michael Corleone, huh?
They took MBE EV off.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, it looked like to be setting up a little bit. NVLN looks like a nice VWAP fill.
Yeah, I was looking at it.
Yeah, beautiful fade on NVLN. I don't think that one's tradable for me, but it looked like a pretty fade. All right, so here goes NIHD here. This is one like I've said, I've been watching this one a little bit this morning. Risk in this trade would be at around $8. So if I can get that 792 entry, my risk is about 8 cents, and so I don't mind that. But man, I gotta watch AMD a little bit more. AMD has been fading a
All
decent
right,
amount every
guys,
day.
watching LCI there. Was interested there at 6, just didn't get a fill. Got rejected there.
For
Would have
long?
looked, yeah, it was a VWAP bounce there. Tried to get long there at 6 off of 590s, but wasn't able to get a fill.
Look at this fade on AMD, man. That's a pretty fade too. And this is the second time it's faded nicely, and the risk would be tight at 64 too. But that's a pretty fade, man. Kind of bummed out about it. CGC, maybe a little VWAP rejection action going here, but this is a pretty fade. Kind of bummed out, dare I say FOMO a little bit with AMD. And like I said, NIHD looks good if you can get up to 792, set a risk of around $8. So a tight risk, good reward of at least 76. Um, but that's a big if it gets back up there. AMD already faded, followed through with it. Yeah, man, cool, nice call out, brother. I started watching it. It got a little bit too early, or it faded a little bit too early for me. I wanted to see it test that 2060 area a little bit more, but it followed through with that pattern perfectly. You know, before it even was up here, I was saying I'm looking to get in short at the VWAP, but just faded a little bit too soon. And now, even with NIHD, I don't like it as much because it's kind of like if it puts in a high or low here, it looks to be trending up as opposed to down. And so if it would have pushed up here on this push up to the VWAP at 92, I might have jumped in, but not going to force it. Something we went over yesterday, my hole in my game from last week. Even though I had a perfect week, I didn't have any losing trades last week from the stream. The hole in my game from last week was definitely jumping in a little bit too early for some of these fades, and my risk and reward was affected by it. And so, trying to kind of fill that leak in my game. Like I said, I mean, it was a perfect week. I had three profitable trades, one losing trade, so 75% accuracy last week. No losing days. Every day I ended green, but hole in my game was definitely entering too early.
A little bit of a miss there on Kron, but I really don't like taking that second fade on Kron.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Look at
Talking about it over time.
you want to talk about a miss? Look at AMD, man.
I don't trade that stock.
I mean, it's been fading nice lately, honestly,
Yeah,
man.
it's just on my non-trade list.
It's on your unreliable list.
Yep, I'll stick to it.
The only reason I've been liking it is because look, if you look at Friday, beautiful fade at the open, and then Thursday kind of faked out a fade actually. Wednesday no fades. Tuesday no fades. I mean, Monday of last week this thing faded 3 times beautifully. So I think it fades more than it doesn't fade actually, but
I think LCI might not hold its gains here. That's why I haven't gone long here. Could have just faked people out through the 6. I saw a lot of people get caught on that 6 breakout, and they bought up there at 610, 612s.
shout out to Trade Ideas for letting me use their scans. If anybody's interested in checking out Trade Ideas, I just posted their link. Awesome scanner that I've been using every morning. Really makes my mornings much easier. And so if you're interested in a scanner, you can check out Trade Ideas. I just posted their link. Like I said, super customizable scanner. Really enjoy using their scanners. So go check them out. It's the scanners that I have here. Look at NIHD. It's up to the VWAP at this point now. I don't like the move up to the VWAP though, and so for that reason, I'm out. To reference Shark Tank. Man, I really wanted to trade today too, man. I hope I find something else. I've definitely been a little bit more selective in the last week, but aside from AMD, I really didn't see much I liked in the market. So we'll see. And maybe Light is rejecting off the VWAP some here. We'll see what happens with it. CGC maybe a little bit. ZIOP showed up on my skaters. Yeah, man. That's what I said. I appreciate the call out for that one. Cool. I just hesitated a little bit, maybe missed it. But trade idea was correct. Wish I would have taken advantage. Yeah, look at NIHD just faking me out. I mean, my risk level would have held. You know, I said if I got in here, you can see the arrow here for my risk level. Would have held. But like I said, I don't like the move up. You know, when I see a VWAP fade, just to show everybody what I really want to look for. I want to look for a move like AMD, right? Where it's like a big drop. Where it's a big drop. And then a quick move back to the VWAP. And then a big fade back down.
Box L, showing up on the high day momentum scanner, guys.
But with NIHD, it wasn't that. It was big drop, kind of a stair step up, like flagged a little bit even on the way up maybe. Down, and then up. And so putting in this high or low right here makes me not like it as much. And so you can see it did get squeezed up some there. We'll see what happens with it. My risk level would have held, but like I said, just not that A+ setup that I really want to see. AMRN, I do see AMRN at the VWAP currently. This is one of those stocks, like Mitch said, what was it? AMD wasn't on his trade list. AMRN has been a stock that I've traded a lot in the past, and I've never had good results with it. And so I kind of classify it for my trading as unreliable. It's kind of on my do not trade list. Like I just, AMRN, even though it does look like a pretty setup, I like the risk area, but it's on it's kind of on my unreliable list. There's certain stocks that Mitch and I just kind of classify as not reliable. They never really follow through, at least for me.
Right.
I appreciate it, Andy.
I'm looking at PCG here. It's a down gap, huge down gap, guys. Probably one of the biggest I've seen in a while.
It looks like it faked out on the VWAP. I mean, it wouldn't have. I mean, I don't know. If I was in this one, I would have liked my risk to be at like 30, 15. And it looks like it's going to break that, but we'll see. Do we offset our VWAP settings? No, I don't, T. Walker. RSLS. Cron coming down. Yeah, Cron faded nicely. I think that's the one you said you missed. Looked pretty. Yep. At this point, we're, after the open, we're more looking at second moves, second fades, which the reliability is going to go down, I think. Kind of a tough spot as a trader, you know. Hey, a green trade's a green trade, Abdul. Nice work, brother. Yeah, I can't lie. I am looking at AMRN. It's just right there at the VWAP, man. Tight risk, too, at, let's see, risk could be about what, like 1980, 1970. Yeah, 1980. I like that risk for AMRN, but like I said, just on my mental do not trade list. HTZ triangle. Yeah, I see that. I do see that.
Yeah, I'm watching HTC right now, guys. Let's see if they scoop up these 40s and get back above 50s.
All right, here's the breakdown on HTZ. Let's see if it gets under the support level here as well and holds. Yeah, man, PCG. NIO, VWAP bounce there. Pretty little VWAP bounce on PCG. Or on NIO, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you look at NIO, I mean, this is the VWAP bounce is effectively like the opposite of the fade. It's a bullish trend, pull back to the VWAP, bounce off of there. I like it because super obvious risk of around 677. Yeah, that triangle breakdown on HTC broke under that support. But man, AMD just got hammered down to 1980. 2x, I'm going to share with you a video on risk and reward. I think if you're a new trader, that's the what you really need to learn. That's a preview from one of our classes. Let me find it here. Yeah, I haven't traded either, Abby. I don't blame you, man. Yeah, go check out that video 2x. It's one of the previews from our classes, but it's good info on risk and reward. That's what you really want to focus on as a trader, at least in my opinion, my humble opinion. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I see a lot of stuff bouncing up. AMD tanking, CGC tanking. So yeah, definitely some shorts there. DNR got really hit too. LITE got hit. Fit also down. Yeah, I bought my wife a Fitbit for her birthday this year. It's pretty cool. I mean, they got the little heart monitor thing, which I have. I'm a hypochondriac, and so I like the heart monitor. But Fitbit taking a hit. Not any more than what there is on going long. Like the fee for longs and shorts the same, Jeff. From what I know. Best to reach out to them. Not 100% sure. But from what I know. Yeah, no stress, man. Yeah, guys, I really wanted to trade today, man. I did really want to trade today. I didn't see too many fades. I saw one on AMD, but you know, nothing wrong with being selective and disciplined. I think a lot of traders don't know how to take their foot off the gas when they don't see their setups, and so I think while I'm bummed out, we'll see what happens. Still may jump into something if it sets up good, but we'll see. AMD maybe if it gets up to 24, tight risk of let's see what my risk would be at 24. Risk of maybe 31. I like that tight risk. Maybe 37 is what I'm looking at for AMD. If it gets back up there, it's a big if, but kind of looking at that now. Hey, nice work. Nice work, two-way. Sonny, can I explain a fade? Sure, man. So VWAP fade. Let me clear the chart here. All right, so a VWAP fade, essentially what you look for is a big bullish or a big bearish trend at the open. So you could see AMD, bearish trend at the open. You look for a VWAP. You would look for it to pull back to the VWAP right here. You see it bounces back directly to the VWAP, and that's where you get in going short. So you get in going short here. Typically, you calculate your risk. If it's close enough to the high of the day, you can use that, although I don't really like doing that as much. But in this case, like my risk would have been maybe 70 here. And so I like that risk. You see it was big support there in pre-market. So my risk is from 60 to 70, so 10-cent risk. My reward is from 60 to 34, so 25-cent reward. And so my reward is 2.5 times my risk. And you're ultimately looking for this, right? You're looking for this big wash down like this showed you. What I typically do is I take profits at the reward area here. So I would take profits here at the previous low of the day, banking some profits and then letting the rest work. Like that's a fade. I can post a video walkthrough of it if you're interested in that, man. Just let me know. Maybe if FIT pulls back to 78, I could take a small size of a few shares with an 82, 83-cent risk. If it pulls back to 78, I don't necessarily dislike it. I don't mind that one. Let's see, though. Boxel, a few people talking about Boxel today. Yeah, Boxel ran really nicely here. Appreciate all the subs today, guys. Charles, Raymond, appreciate it. Nice, Jeff. So there is an opposing side to that, Sonny. So like, NIO kind of did it today, although I don't think it really followed through yet. But there is an opposing side to that. So like, yeah, here's a good example in BOXL, bullish trend, pull back to the VWAP, breakout on the upside. So like, there is an opposite side to that, which is I call this a VWAP bounce, a bounce as opposed to a fade. But same strategy, just turned upside down. I always try to tell people in our classes that the VWAP is actually a trend indicator. So if the stock is underneath the VWAP, it's in a downward trend. It's in a bearish trend. If the stock is over the VWAP, it's technically in a bullish intraday trend. And so it's a trend indicator. And so with the VWAP fade and the rejection, you're effectively taking advantage of a confirmation in the trend. So when it pulls back to the VWAP and then gets pushed right back down, that confirms the downtrend. That's essentially what you're taking advantage of in a VWAP fade. Same thing with the VWAP bounce. You know, if it's above the VWAP, it bounces off of it. You're taking advantage of the confirmation and the bullish trend. You know, it's staying in an uptrend. It's bouncing off the VWAP, refusing to change into a downtrend, if that makes sense. Ivan, so my conditions for the fade, Ivan, are preferably I look for overextended stocks. Like a lot of times I want to see an overextended stock. Like a good example of that was last week on SLS. Beautiful example of it. So this is really, let me clear this out. So like I said, my favorite way to trade these is to look for a big upward gap in the market. So you can see SLS gapped up over 10%, big gap. And then after the open, like I said, my conditions are looking for a overextended stock on the upside. And so you can see SLS was that. Then when it opened, it had this big bearish downward push, pulled back to the VWAP perfectly here. Let's go a little bit closer. Pulled back to the VWAP perfectly here. And then faded back down really nicely. And so I usually like to look for overextended stocks because I think they have more momentum on the downside. But I mean, as you can see with AMD, even if it's extended the day before or on the daily chart, you could still consider. But I just look for a big downward move. The VWAP has to be in play low. Like the VWAP has to be close to it. If the VWAP's too much above, then it's probably not going to fade off of it. And so I just look for a stock that has the VWAP relatively close to where the opening price is, where, you know, relatively close to where it pulls back from, and then an overextension on the upside so I can take advantage of the move back down. And AMRN faded nicely off the VWAP, man. Like I said, it's kind of in my do not trade list, but it did fade. It did fade. Yeah, trading, man. Just email me, brother. beginnertrading@gmail.com. Yeah, Kron did fade, man. You see that, Eddie? The VWAP fade, it's definitely in play a lot. Man, I missed Kron. Yeah, today was just my fault, man. I just missed some. But yeah, guys, kind of a slow day for me. Mitch sounds like it was a slow day for him as well. So, I mean, days like this are going to happen. Like I said, last week I had a perfect week. I didn't have any losing days. And one of the reasons is because I was super selective. I didn't trade 2 of the days last week. But 4 green days in a row. Kind of bummed out I didn't trade AMD today and maybe Kron. RSLS, some people talking about RSLS popping up on the scanners as well. Wow. Look at RSLS move here. Crazy, crazy. So at this point, if I was looking for a long trade, I would look to see if it pulls back to the VWAP at 350 and then bounces off of this level. That's what I'd want to see. But AMD just never turned back, man. Things just getting hammered. Absolutely hammered.
All right, guys, trying to tackle PTI here. If I can get in somewhere near 680s, I could risk off of 690s.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. It's got to have the follow through volume with it, though, I think. But I don't mind that one. I see the setup there. Risk off of what, 695 maybe?
No, 690 would be my risk.
Yeah. I'd maybe go for 692, but that's me. But yeah, today definitely was a short day, man. Kron faded, AMD faded. I mean, it all just depends on your strategy. 40. Um, it really all just depends on your strategy, man. Yeah, RSLS, crazy, crazy move there, man. This thing hasn't looked back yet. Crazy move, man. Look at this, $2. This thing's up over 100%. Looks like about 150%, really. But we'll see what happens. Interesting.
HTC would have just got to that VWAP. I would have definitely tried to take that one down, but didn't get to the VWAP after it went down.
Yeah, man. I was looking at AMD for the second move. The VWAP has since dropped some, but I wanted to see it get back to the VWAP a little bit more as well. The first VWAP fade on AMD was perfect, but just didn't take it. And yeah, the stream may be boring today, but I mean, listen.
It is what it is.
Right.
Boring is better than losing money.
Boring is good sometimes, for sure. I mean, I know it might not be the most entertaining. We're not going to be forcing 6 trades and then losing a bunch of money. But we got to be selective and disciplined. Maybe a few misses on my side, though. It's definitely my fault that I missed 8.
It happens.
For sure. RSLS is halted. Yeah, crazy. What's up, Casey? Hey, man. That's what we're here for, brother. I know, cool, man. Don't remind me, brother. Yeah, for sure. I mean, boring is good. Boring's better than red. You know, but like I said, if I'm being objective with myself today, and boring is good. Like I said, last week I haven't had a losing day in the last week. Last 4 days have been green. I didn't trade twice last week, but today specifically, I can critique myself in the fact that I just didn't pull the trigger with AMD. AMD set up beautifully here with the fade, beautiful fade. I've gone over it a few times today, but AMD, perfect fade there, just didn't jump in when I should have. So that's my fault. It's not, being disciplined and selective is good. Being overly selective is not. And so I think I missed AMD. I think that was a good setup. Not really the type of stock I typically trade, but it's set up beautifully. And then Kron was a nice fade as well. Kron was a pretty fade here. And so that's my fault as well. So if I'm being objective, I could have traded a few today. I just didn't. My name is John, Casey. John. Yeah, a few people said that I was shady for not showing my face. I've really been thinking about getting a scanner and showing my face. Or a camera, I'm sorry, and showing my face. I posted a picture of myself to our Discord. Let me see if I can find it. This is me and my kids. So there's my face, everybody. Maybe I'll do one without myself wearing glasses one day. But there's me. Not trying to hide, I guess. Like I said, I've been thinking about getting a camera and actually showing my face on the streams. It's going to be a little bit more inconvenient, though, because it's in the morning. I would have to not get ready, but make myself look somewhat presentable if I'm on stream. But I don't know, man. We got some people say whatever. People criticize for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Right? Yeah, people criticize for whatever reason. They'll find a reason to criticize. And so I figured I should just show my face so people can't say anything. Yeah, Casey. So, like, listen, man, we're not experts here. We're not gurus. We're kind of like the anti-guru. We do have classes that we teach every weekday night. So the $30 package, it comes with 20 live classes. So 20 classes where we are actually there live. But then it also comes with the backlog of all of our old classes, which at this point is over 20. And so for $30, it's a subscription. It's a monthly subscription. But we do one live class every weekday. Sometimes instead of Fridays, we do Sundays. But you also get the backlog of all our old classes. And so, like, that's what it's about. Like I said, we're not trying to be experts or gurus. We're just teaching people our system, which, I mean, it works, you know. Like I said, you look at the best last week of my trading, I haven't had a losing day following that system. It's mostly based around risk and reward, because I think that's where a lot of the other educators don't really teach people risk and reward. They may teach them risk management, but they don't teach you how to calculate risk and reward in your trades. And I think that is one of the most crucial aspects of trading. Right, man. A and Y. Is it halted? It is, right? GE fade. Let's look at GE here. Hmm, it doesn't look bad. I mean, it's consolidating this point, but I like the risk level. You know, again, going back to risk and reward, I like the risk level. The risk can be like what 1814, so like a 13-cent risk. Reward can be at, maybe 80. I could set it at 72, but I think that'd be a little bit greedy, maybe 80. So I don't mind the risk and reward. Not all the way 2 to 1, but it's not 1 to 1 either. Yes, that's actually exactly what I do, Michael. So with the VWAP fade, um, like okay, so we could use cron here as an example. What I usually do with cron, or what I usually do with the fade, is I always take a partial at the low of the day. Like if you go back and watch each day's stream from last week, like if you watch each trade I did last week, every single one of them was on a VWAP fade, and every single one of them I take profits at the low of the day. Because at that point, a lot of the time, the stock is at least going to test this low right here. And sometimes it's going to bounce back and it's just going to completely reverse. But if you take profits at the low of the day, even if it does bounce back, it's going to be a break even small winning trade. But if it actually breaks down, like Kron did, if it actually breaks under that low of the day and keeps going, it's a much bigger winner. And so you're setting yourself up to succeed using your risk and reward levels. And it only makes sense to do that. Jason, no, it's just a members Discord, man. It's where we post the classes. Yeah, for sure, man. They can. Yeah, no stress, Michael. DNR maybe bouncing back to the VWAP here. LITE actually up to the VWAP as well. Don't mind LITE. What do you think about this one, Mitch? LITE, big down gap, but if it gets up to 40, I think it's going to have some resistance at 40.82. The only problem is that the range, or 40.57 actually looks like a good risk level um, here.
Not my type.
Yeah, it's a big range. I would have to take smaller share size for sure because risk would be like 70 cents.
I feel like HCZ is going to get strong here and give us a VWAP bounce. I'm just putting the idea out there, just so if I do get in it, you guys didn't say that I didn't tell you guys it late. I'm
Which
watching
one?
it here. I want HCZ to get some really good strength to do the VWAP. I need to see some big buyers step up there and want to take this back up. On the 15-minute, if you watch this stock on a 15-minute, it's actually holding a flag range pretty well there. It made a move back down, but now if it gets back over 1950s, can have some real strength to that 20 mark.
DNR is back up to the VWAP too. I don't think DNR is tradable, but it's back up there. If it is,
PTI is an idea also,
nah,
but it's up to you guys. It's a little bit low shared, low float, dangerous stock though.
PTI is getting up there. Yeah, low float, low volume, but it's getting up there. I mean, the only thing that I'm hesitant, probably the same reason you are, is that even if it gets up to the VWAP and I set a risk level of 690, since the volume's so low, if it gets a big volume surge, this thing could easily squeeze up to 7, and so the maximum risk would really be at around 7, so 20 cent maximum risk. So it'd be about, it wouldn't be as good. No, it's nicotine at Dallas. I got 2 kids. I live in Texas. Not that I have anything morally against that. Hopefully Texas will legalize one day, but until then, I have 2 kids and live in Texas, so that's a no-go for me.
All my exes live in Texas.
I mean, I like Texas, but I'm actually from Louisiana. If
All
you're
right,
wondering
guys.
where my accent comes from.
Watching 2 or 3 stocks here, guys. Watching LCI, PTI, and HTZ.
Yeah, looking at GE here, I mean, it's already kind of faded off the VWAP some. Yeah, I mean, if it pulls back to 5, I'd be looking at it for a bounce just because I could set my risk at 50, 450, reward at 6, so 2 to 1, but it's just such a huge range at this point. Yeah, the big thing I like about Texas is that there's no income tax. There's property tax though, which can really hit you. Yeah, RSLS. Let's look up the news for it. What's going on with Webull? I have Webull. I'm not trading on there right now, but what's going on with it? Nice Dietrich. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. What's up, Bobby? Hey man, I'm right around there, brother. Let me know if you want to grab a beer sometime, bro. Yeah, I'm not in Houston. I'm north suburbs. I've lived in Houston for a while though. Moved a little bit outside of Houston about 5 years ago. I wouldn't say necessarily it works better, Michael. I think with higher float stocks, you really got to look for a downward trend on the daily chart. I think with low float stocks, you can look for overextended gap ups because usually, not saying this is true, but typically low float stocks are worse companies, and so I feel a little bit more confident in shorting them. But I think they work fine with higher float stocks. I don't know what the float on AMD is, but it faded perfectly today. Let's see. All right. So since looking back on the market right now, I'm not really seeing anything I like that much. Maybe looking at CGC, see if they pull back some. Uh, with the other cannabis stocks like CRON. CRON already pulled back some. It didn't really get to the VWAP. I wouldn't consider it a fade. It was about 5-6 cents away, but maybe gonna look at a few. See if I can find some overextended movers. I wonder if let me look. No options for RSLS on Robinhood. No fun, man. What was the other crazy mover today? A few people were mentioning it. It was RSLS and ANY. That's what it was.
All right, guys, really watching here HTZ, and PTI. PTI is kind of near where I would take it in 81s, 83 range,
Here, I'll share
off
your
the
screen.
690s. But I'm really watching HTZ here, trying to see the volume that comes through here, see if it's going to rip through this VWAP. Then I might look for that long for the VWAP bounce. Important levels, we got a nice hold here at 1929. And we've been seeing it test to break out, to kind of break down of this downward pattern and break out. That's about where I could go short on PTI. There was a moment right there at 678. 678, you could have taken it there. Once you saw a red candle, you can risk off a 690, 691, and look for this breakdown. The reason you would trade this is for a daily breakdown, because if it gets below 673s, 685s, it can really start moving down there. All right, guys. HTZ starting to look stronger here. Just needed to break out and get above here and close above the VWAP here. If it comes down below, we could also trade it on a VWAP fade. This is what I mean by trying to stay objective.
What, successful trading for everybody? Which one, man? The VWAP fade?
Good buyers there at 42.
If you come from Texas, try to keep it Texas and not change it into where you came from, because there's a reason you left. Oh, 100%, man. I love my
All right, guys, trying to get in here on HTZ, guys. My risk would be off of 1929 here. I'm trying to get a pullback fill here. Pullback fill at 37s. Risk off of 30s here. See what we get here. See if we get this pullback fill.
Appreciate the sub, Everest. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, I love my hometown, but there is a reason I left. All right, so what's your entry? What's your risk?
I didn't like how I didn't get filled there. I haven't got an entry. I haven't got an entry yet. I'm trying to risk off of 1930s. Look for that reward above 1950s. When it pulled back there, I should have got my fill. I don't know why it didn't fill me. There's some shares that went through there. Just didn't get filled here. It was like about 1,200 shares that went through there at 36. I think I should have got filled. This is where it gets to that point where I'm not using market buys, guys. I like to use my limits. I want to stick to them, especially on the long side. Because if I go and I slam here at 44 and it just drops to 30, that's 14-cent risk for a potential probably 10-cent gain. That's not risk to reward management here.
Nice, James. Hey, congrats, brother. Congrats, man.
It might not even fill me here.
Yeah,
It's
it
gonna
makes
suck.
sense, man.
It's gonna suck because of the market. That's the only reason I'm not gonna be able to take this trade. And this 3 cent rule is definitely frustrating if you're not good at kind of putting in your order early.
Hey, man. Appreciate it, James. Appreciate it, brother. Your dogs, are they mad with you, brother? Sounds like it.
Yep.
I could play the Jeopardy theme music for you, Mitch, if you're
Oh, I
interested.
hear it already. It's in my ears right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess even though we have it traded today, there's still a few things to learn. I hope you guys see that. Like, I quiz Mitch on his risk and reward in every trade, and he fires back with it. And so, if you're getting in a trade, make sure you know your risk and reward levels before you enter the trade. That's rough, man.
Yep. I knew the trade, didn't get in. Should have maybe just got in here early, but I don't like to get in moves early, especially when I'm doing a pattern breakdown. The breakdown is above this 40. I could maybe look to get in here when it comes back, risk off of that 31. So 40s off of 31s at 30s. I'm just not getting it. I did see some volume step in there. It could push.
Yeah, like I said, Kim, congrats. If you made $800 on RSLS, congrats. I'm happy for you. I really am. But I'm mostly a short bias trader. Of course, I go long sometimes too. But I'm hesitant to trade those big, crazy parabolic movers. The only way I really like trading those is to buy put options when I consider them extended. Because, yeah, the reward is big on them, but the risk is also big. And so I'm happy you made money. I really am. Congrats. Good job. But it just for me and my type of trading, I got to protect my account in any way I deem right. And so, you know, do you. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, there's not enough volume. They bought up there in the 50s. There's only 4,500. You could risk off of. You see these buyers in the 1942. They're kind of doing the same approach that I'm taking, um, and you could risk off of that 1930. Just not feeling too confident in this trade as I'm not seeing the right volume to match the momentum move. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave this one out, guys. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Didn't give me a good entry, good enough entry to have the right risk to reward. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it alone.
Yeah, Kron pulled back to the VWAP, but I'd have to set 850 as my risk. I don't dislike it at this point. Let's see.
Yoko looking interesting. 10,000 shares going through there, but no volume pretty much today at all. Pretty much absolutely no volume. It's a very risky buy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it might be a little boring of a stream, but I think being selective is important. Being disciplined is important. You gotta have a plan with every trade. It looked good for shorts, and that's my fault that I missed AMD and CRON. But in the end, I'd rather not trade than have a losing trade, and so no stress. Just gonna keep staying selective. Might be a little boring, but y'all will get over it. It's exciting when a trader loses a bunch of money, but not gonna force trades. The VWAP is the volume weighted average price. So the VWAP is similar to like a moving average, but with volume taken into a consideration. That makes it a little bit more relevant, but really the VWAP is a trend indicator, right? And so you can see when a stock is underneath the VWAP, technically it's in a downward trend. If the stock is above the VWAP, it's in an upward trend. And so when you see a stock cross underneath the VWAP and hold, it has effectively changed trends from an upward trend to a downward trend. And if it's underneath the VWAP and it breaks over it, it's effectively changed trends from a downward trend to an upward trend. And all of that's great, but in technical analysis trading, it's all really based off of human emotion. It's based off of what other people are doing. And so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in general, which is technical analysis. So the big key thing, the real reason I like the VWAP is because lots of other traders trade it too. Lots of other traders use the VWAP. So thus, it makes it a little bit more reliable of an indicator. It's not like a moving average where there's many different types of moving averages. There's the 9, the 12, the 30, the 50, the 100. And so you don't know which traders are looking at which one. So you don't know really which one is going to be the one that everybody else is watching. But with the VWAP, there's typically, most of people only trade one of them. And so you got a lot more momentum with it, at least in my opinion. Intraday, Taman. I use the, what period do I use? I don't know. I could show you all my VWAP settings. Like these are my VWAP settings. If you use Thinkorswim, you're going to have to disable the upper and lower band by just unchecking show plot. But that's my VWAP settings there. And this is just the stock settings for the VWAP on Thinkorswim. After, like I said, if you're on Thinkorswim, you got to unclick show plot and upper and lower band. But that's my VWAP settings. Yeah, no stress, Tamer. All right, cool. Have a good day, brother. All right, so yeah, I don't know if I'm going to trade anything today. I'll go ahead and post my links. If anybody's interested in signing up to TradeNet, you can go through my link. Yeah, there was a bunch of drama on it. But like I said, if you're thinking about signing up with TradeNet anyway, you go through my link, you get 10% off. And so do your research. There's the link if you're interested. I've already kind of said my piece on it. Not trying to really pick sides. Try to be honest with people about everything. So if you're interested in signing up or getting more info, you can go through my link. Also, shout out to Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas is nice enough to let me stream their scans every morning. Awesome customizable scanner regardless of what your niche is in the market. And so if you're interested in checking out Trade Ideas, I'll post that link here as well. You can go check out Trade Ideas through that link. Whatever happened with ACB?
It was a good trade. It just missed one little bounce. Didn't really get to that VWAP.
Which platform do I trade the most? Probably TradeNet. TAFs specifically. Yeah, man, Nicholas, if you're thinking about getting it, here's the thing. So there's been a lot of drama, and I'm not going to go super in depth about TradeNet being a scam and all that stuff or whatever. But one thing you all have to understand about specifically overseas trading brokers is that almost all of them take the other side of your trade. That's just what they do. Almost every overseas broker does that. SureTrader does that. SureTrader has tons of shorts. Why do they have so many shorts? Is because they're taking the other side of your trade. And so when you win, they lose. When you lose, they win. And so Ustock does the same thing. Ustock Trade, they have super users that take the opposing side of your trade. And so if you win money on Ustock Trade, a lot of times they're losing money. And so these things are super common, but somewhat of a necessary evil with overseas brokers. If you don't like that about any of these, then you're gonna have to save up over 25,000, and day trade on a regular U.S. broker. But even those brokers are still going to have conflict of interest, and they're rooting for you to fail. Most brokers do a few things. A lot of overseas brokers take the other side of your trade, just like TradeNet does, and that's fine, because as long as they pay out, they pay out. Almost every single broker is going to analyze your trades and not necessarily steal your strategies, but if you're a profitable trader and they see those strategies, they're going to be implementing your strategies. They're going to be watching you trade and seeing your strategies. And so that's number two. And number three is that it's bad business if you succeed for any broker. Any broker. It's bad business. And it's not, you don't want to go on a winch hunt and attack one while ignoring all the other brokers that do exactly the same thing. But just be honest with yourself about it. That's the overseas brokers market. That's kind of what you got to deal with, But like I said, I'm honest with people about it. My biggest thing with TEFs and TradeNet isn't that they do all that stuff. It's that some stocks aren't tradable. That's my biggest complaint about them. But they have lots of shorts, quick fills with CFDs, and I've heard they pay out. And so that's all I really care about. Right, same thing, Adele. Robinhood, same thing as well. I mean, they all do it. That's what I'm saying. They all do it. And so trying to stand on a hill, point the fingers at one while ignoring the other is silly because they all do it. And it's just a witch hunt. You know what I mean? It's the best way I can describe it. But make your own decision. Research it yourself. I don't know. I'm just trying to be honest with people. I don't have a problem with TradeNet doing it because if they pay out, they pay out. At least TradeNet's not charging me $200 a month on my platform. That's all I really care about. Yeah, cool. That's 100% true, man. That's why I like shorts more. Cool is because I think panic is a stronger emotion than hope is. Bulls will stair step up. Shorts will just jump out the window and fail. So I actually agree. But with all that said, I'm gonna go ahead and close the stream down now. Mitch, did you want to do what we talked about this morning, man?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so what was it?
All right, guys. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to go ahead and put out an offer for you guys to have an ability to really see what we do. One of the real keys is we think that, you guys really have to go ahead and see it for yourself and see how we can go ahead and make you profitable. A lot of people ask, how are we teaching if we're not gurus, experts? The way we're teaching is that we've developed a process. And what we try to get through to you in our classes is not necessarily that we are, just have the best strategy and are really great traders, but that what we do is we stay disciplined to our process, and that approach is actually the destination, and that's what gets us our profit. What we're going to go ahead and put out here, guys, is we're going to let you guys have an ability to do a 3-day free trial with us. This gives you an ability to watch multiple classes. And by having that multiple class experience, you should see what we have to offer. If you guys feel that it's not valuable after that 3-day classes, then go ahead and don't keep it going. Don't subscribe with us. And by all means, look for another educator. But if you can stick with us for those 3 days and really see that what we're attacking is something that can not only be beneficial to your trading right now, but overall to your trading in the long run, then that's really what we want you to go ahead and see. So the way we're going to do this, guys, is if you guys put in your email here on our
Don't put it in here. Don't put it in here. Just email me at beginnertrading@gmail.com.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. Don't put in your email here. I don't think people want to put their email in here.
It's up to you. But if you guys can go ahead, you send us an email. Let us know that you're going to go ahead and be a part of the team. We're going to go ahead and send you out that 3-day demo. Kind of that way you guys could really see what we have to offer. And if you guys want to go ahead and join us after that and join the fam, you can. One of the great things is is that we really have an ability to answer your questions, anything that you have questions or lessons that you want to hear about. These are the time where you guys can go ahead and tell us what you want to see, and we'll go ahead and make the classes be on those certain subjects so that you guys can really get the value that we're offering. Go ahead and definitely email John. John put up his email here. It's beginnertrading@gmail.com. Go ahead and hit us up. We'll go ahead and show you what we have to offer. Join us. Very first class. I think we're going to do it tonight if we're able to get out the emails in time.
Yeah.
But if not, it'll be tomorrow.
So we'll just email you the link. If you email me, just let me know if you want to be a part of it. We'll email you the link. Classes are at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every weekday. And so hit us up if you want to see it. Like I said, there's my email. Let me put it in here one more time. There's my email. Email me if you want to take the 3 free classes with us. We're not going to make you put in any card info or anything like that. Just email us. We'll send you the link. And so, yeah, have a good day, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow morning, same time as always. If you're going to be part of our little 3-day free classes, let me know. Email me. And, yeah, good luck for the rest of the day, y'all. We'll see you all tomorrow if not. And so have a good day.
All right. Take care, guys.